Hello and welcome back to the X-Files Revisited. We are moving on with episode 14 of season 8 called This Is Not Happening. And this is more mythology. After last week's episode, we are moving back into it yet again. Abductees are returning, bodies are showing up, the mystery is getting darker, and for the first time, feels like we might be getting a little bit closer to Mulder than we previously had. Plus, I'm pretty sure we get a return of a character that we may have seen before, and of course, as usual, I have no memory of them whatsoever.
There's 3 characters in this that we've seen before.
Yeah.
So yeah. I should have told you actually to rewatch Requiem before watching this, because yeah,
they weren't completely unfamiliar. They were just like it was that hazy. I'm sure I know them from somewhere.
So Teresa Hosey is from right back in the very first pilot episode.
Right.
And if you remember when they did Requiem, which was the season 7 closer, she came back. Her and Billy Miles, they came back. So those 2 characters from the pilot, it was like, whoa, 7 years later, we're catching up with them. And she was an abductee, and she got abducted the night before Mulder did. And before, and along with Mulder was this other guy's friend. Do you remember the 2 kids in Requiem, the 2 lads who were out there looking for UFOs and stuff?
Yeah.
And then one of them just disappears.
Yeah.
And then the friend's like, "Where are you? Where are you?" That's who we open up with in the episode. Is the friend still looking for his pal? So yeah. So quite a lot of stuff you need to know really going into it, and itself it's pretty big. And then obviously we've got Jeremiah Smith back from Talitha Kumi and Heron Volk. Not one of the best 2-parters, but he was certainly a memorable character. You do remember him, don't you?
Yeah, faintly. I did remember him. Again, I couldn't place him, but I was like, I know him, and I know roughly what he has to do with the story, not the intricacies. So I feel like I got better because I did actually recognise people. I just couldn't place them.
Yeah. All right. So this is a mythology episode, obviously. Last week we had a mythology episode that fared somewhat middling in the fact that it placed at number 10, so right in the middle of the show. This is a 2-parter. This is big mythology stuff. Where do you think this one fares better? That's what I'll say. Do you think this one fares better than the last?
Yes,
mythology?
I think it fares better because it ties into grander elements from seasons beforehand, and because it brings back other characters. So I think it does better just on that front alone.
Right. Okay. Then.
I think.
Hit me with a number out of the 21 episodes of this season.
5.
That's a second week on the trot that you got it right, man. Yeah, that's
small victories.
2 for 2. 2 for 2. Okay, it gets a bit harder when you got to do 217. But
yeah.
Hit me with a number.
This is getting into the top 100. That I'm sure is just how far into it does it get. I am tore, and I think I'm going to go 64.
Oh, close. 69. 69. So not 69, far.
Dude.
Not far. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. So, it's up there. It's up there with, yeah. I think anything that's getting in the top 100 really is looking. I would be expecting good things from. So, but as we've seen before, fans can get a little bit trigger happy when it comes to mythology episodes. So let's see if we agree, eh? Because last week was a bit of a we'll try not to go as long this week. I I feel like the plotting in this one makes way more sense than Per Annum, so I don't think we should be getting too stuck on things. Well, I shouldn't be getting too stuck on things. I think you just had to go along for the ride last week. But... All right, so we open up on a young man that we've seen before called Richie chasing a UFO, which is in the desert. Is kind of, the UFO disappears. And suddenly there is a man left in its place. And Richie shouts down to this man. The man starts running, so Richie goes after him. And in his pursuit, he trips over a body that is lay there naked and looks... You can tell that something's been done to it. Yeah. It looks dead, yeah. I thought they were dead. And I thought it was a man as well, to be honest. I thought it was a man's body. I'm not going to lie. I wrote in my notes, he trips over a man's body. And then when we find out it's Teresa Hosey, I went back on my notes, scrubbed it out, and a woman's body. Okay. So, yeah.
Like, I like Richie. I think him chasing the lights is fantastic. He's super energetic and excited. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that disposable camera, because the pictures are going to be utterly awful.
Oh, you're not getting good nighttime shots with one of them bad boys. No chance.
No. I think if he's got anything in focus, it'd be a miracle. It's just going to be black, just dark or blurs.
It's going to be your typical UFO pictures that you used to get around that era. Look, I saw a UFO. Oh, really? That could be anything, man.
And then I love how he's like disbelief, and then he gets to a point where he's just like he's in shock almost. Like the excitement is wore off the shocks, and he's just kind of like, "What the hell is this?" And then the people. I think it's a really good opening. I liked it, but I think it just goes on the actor. I think the actor's terrific. I think that just enthusiasm, and then the kind of like realization of, oh, crap, what is this? And I'm in the middle of nowhere with a disposable camera and a torch. Like,
there's a certain sense of naivety about this guy, isn't there? Like, there's a childlike sense of wonder, but also a naivety, and it's like, dude, your best friend got abducted. Why are you chasing these things?
But there's a moment where he's out the car and he's chasing after it, and it's just like the naivety just disappears, and it's replaced with worry almost. And, and he's just like, and I just thought, great, really like that.
Yeah. So, and obviously we get him saying, "This is not happening. This is not happening." It's like
brilliant. I like that. I thought it was great.
Yeah. And you think, oh, that's why the episode's called "This Is Not Happening," and it's like, but then obviously it's going to come back later. But so Scully gets to the office after Doggett said there's something urgent. He tells her he wants Skinner to tell her. So you can see like that it's, what is it? You going to tell me? And Doggett's just like playing coy. It's like, I'm going to let Skinner tell you, actually. So they go to Skinner's office, and Skinner says that the woman that the kid tripped over was Teresa Hosey, who was taken the night before Mulder and is now hanging by a thread in a hospital. So obviously, without even spelling it out, the implication there is, well, if she was brought back today, maybe Mulder's going to get brought back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because she was taken a day before him.
And why do you think Doggett's not telling her that information?
I think, particularly given last week's episode...
This is what I think as well, yeah.
I think anything of a personal nature... I think he's being careful. He doesn't want to go lumbering in there and get the kind of reaction that he got at the beginning of last week's episode, where she essentially said, "Keep your nose out of my personal business." I think he's on tenterhooks, basically. Yeah. It's like he cares, but he also doesn't want to get shot down or deliver bad news that's just going to make her hate him even more, kind of thing. So.
And this is such a small moment, and the reason I asked that question is because this is something the X-Files do a lot, where something will happen next episode, complete disregard. They just move on. Whereas, Chris Carter and I think it's Sputnik that's wrote these episodes together. So they've got a through line, and they've carried that from that episode last week into this, giving the characters real a sort of backstory and history there, which I really like. It's something small, but you can tell that he's learned.
Yeah. It's like if you're just watching this as a passing viewer, that moment might seem a bit weird to you. But if you're someone who follows along, that moment has a bit more weight to it, and you go, yeah, he's being careful here. It's got to protect himself a bit at this point, because it's like he waded in there last week and it didn't go so well for him. And, yeah,
it did not.
So they meet up with the doctor at the hospital that's treating Teresa, who seems like a really nice guy, which is kind of refreshing, because so often in the X-Files, these doctors end up being complete douchebags, or you just get a vibe off them where they're in on it. Oh.
Look at every medical practitioner from the last episode.
Yeah.
You're not expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah. So when he rocks up in his white coat to greet them, instantly, I'm just conditioned to think, well, this guy's in on it. He just happens to be the doctor that's on Teresa Hose's case, because now he's got a monitor. He's in on it. But no, just the way he talks about her, and his absolute disgust for what's been done to her and for whoever's done it. You feel like, oh no, this guy's just a genuine out in the sticks doctor who actually probably could have some high-flying city doctor job, but he's working out in some country bumpkin place because he genuinely cares about people. And that's just the vibe you get off him.
Isn't that wonderful how you just fill that in because he's not a douchebag?
Yeah.
That's the bar. The bar's so low.
It's so but also because of where he's working, because it's a small town. It's just like, it's not like a big city or anything. So you build this picture, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. There we go. So he takes them in to see her, and he says it's like someone has just experimented on her. She's just got lesions everywhere, holes, just like, somebody's done some serious work on her. Scully asks,
the fact that the doctor's actually saying that, it looks like somebody's experimented on her, not like covering it up or doing something. He's horrified.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and you see the state of it as well. It's a horrifying idea.
Yeah. Like, again, he's a small town doctor. He's used to abrasions and maybe broken arms, things like that. This is just something that is like, I can't even comprehend what's been done to her here. This is like something out of a Hostel movie or something. So Scully asks about foreign objects when cops arrive with a police report for Doggett. And Doggett looks at it, then says they have a suspect. Richie Soleil. What a suspect.
Yeah. Anybody that looks at this guy for more than 2 seconds and thinks he's capable of doing something like that, they're like, wrong.
Literally 2 minutes talking with this guy, and I think even Doggett's like, right, maybe not. Yeah. Back to square one. It's like, it
would almost have been nice to see him like taking out his little book and just going like, yeah. Cross that off straight away.
I'll just ripping the page out, scrumpling it up and chucking it in the bin. So Richie Soleil, the kid from the start, who is also this is when I didn't realize, like, in the opening scene, I knew that I knew him. I'm like, I've seen this kid somewhere before, but I just assumed like I knew the actor, like I've seen the actor in something else before.
Right.
But then it was during this scene where it clicked. I was like, oh, he was in Requiem. He was one of the two lads that were out in the woods and his friend got taken. That's why he's pursuing all this stuff. So you see all the maps, the mapping of news stories on his wall where he just looks like one of those obsessives who's following this stuff. says he's been following the sightings on the news. Doggett says the alien that he saw was wearing 9.5 Nikes. But then Richie's like, but what about his spaceship? And then Doggett's like, and walks out. It's just like, yeah, I cannot even dignify that with a response. It's just like, he doesn't even know how to talk to someone about that stuff. So it's like, yeah, I'm out. Bye. Scully goes out and confronts Doggett about his refusal to believe. He says it's not important whether he believes or doesn't, because finding Mulder is the aim, and this isn't getting us any closer to him.
Yeah.
So he tells her that he tells her what she can't admit, which is that she's afraid to find him as much as she's afraid to not find him. Especially after having seen what was done to Teresa Hosey. Which is, and you see it dawn on Scully's face. They linger on her for quite some time. It's like she's suddenly wrestling with this idea that actually, what are we actually going to find if we do find Mulder?
Yeah.
So we see Mulder, as it happens, straight after being tested on in this huge contraption. We've seen it before. I like the way they film it here from the low angle, wide shot. You see this ship and the way that Mulder's strapped in, and he's got metal things going through his ankle, which looks really gross. He's got these things stuck in his face. It just...
Because we've seen that image. Was that in the second episode of this season?
Yeah, it was either within or without. I think it was maybe the opening of Within. Oh, maybe,
and it looks, the metal doesn't look as shiny. It looks a little bit right. It looks as if he's just been like that for like a period of time, which is horrifying.
Yeah, they're putting all the nutrients that he needs into his body, but he's just like stuck in his position the whole time. It's like, man, gross. But Scully wakes up, and it's a nightmare. So again, and I think the last time we saw this, it was like a Scully nightmare kind of thing. So we still don't really know whether this is the reality or whether it is just Scully's nightmare, or whether the two are one and the same. But I interpret it as one and the same because...
Yeah.
So,
I think I'm with you.
Yeah. Scully wakes Skinner to talk about her fear of Mulder being dead, and he goes to put some clothes on. He's like, oh, man. Can I just get some sleep? Come on. I feel like this isn't the same apartment that we've seen him in before. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. Because if you remember, he was in a high rise. Do you remember when Krychek gets locked to his... Mulder handcuffed Krychek to his banister, didn't he? On the outside, and he was on a ledge. And Krychek ended up pulling a guy over the ledge. And that was in
Skinner's... That was Skinner's. Yeah, but Skinner could have. I mean,
this is a hotel, isn't it? They're out. Are they? Yeah. They're out there. All right. In that case, I'll shut up. I felt like she was at home in bed, but she wasn't. She was in a hotel room.
I thought we were going to be stuck here for 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Let's move on. Let's forget it. I just had a brain fart. That's all. It happens. When those two brain cells rub together, it happens. So, so Scully tells Skinner about her and Mulder's conversation about Starlight, which is going to become relevant again later in the episode. But if you remember that conversation, I believe that was in Closure. It was either in Closure or Sign on Zeke, which was the 2-part episode where, the children in the starlight and all that kind of stuff, and they're looking up at the stars. I think it's when Mulder has learned about what happened with his sister. I'm also thinking it was Tempus Fugit and Max, because I'm sure they have a conversation in Tempus Fugit or at the end of Max when he's talking about Starlight. So I might be conflating the two. But either way, I remember they had this conversation in which Mulder talks about how the light from those stars is so old that some of those stars have actually burned out. And but yeah, she talks about how Mulder said that's where souls go to reside, or that there's some people believe that's where souls go to reside, and it's a nice moment. It's like, but you get the sense that Scully has almost accepted death, that Mulder's dead, and that he's up there somewhere in the starlight.
I think it's possibly the fact that she's seen Teresa, or is it?
Yeah.
And she's just like, I think I'd rather he was dead, like almost.
Yeah.
Than with going through that kind of punishment.
Yeah. And Skinner tells her to stop trying to prepare herself. He's like, if you're trying to prepare yourself, stop it, because he's still out there and we're going to find him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a nice moment anyway between the two of them. It's quite heartfelt. It kind of gets me. So, Jeremiah Smith walks into the hospital. It's like just run. This is the thing. It's like a character we've not seen since season 3, season 4. So it was the season 3 closer, season 4 opener. We've not seen him since then. So we're talking like
you must have been loving it. You must have been hyper at this point, Brian. Like when this happened back in the day, I could just imagine you being so excited.
Yeah, I was like, it's Jeremiah Smith. What the heck? It's like, we've not seen him for like 4 years. It's just weird how there's no like there's no big reintroduction to him. He just randomly walks into the hospital, and you're like, that guy. He's just there, being that guy. So he goes in, transforms into the doctor, the nice doctor, then requests a transfer of Teresa Hosey. And then we pan down and we see he's wearing Nikes. So this is our friend. Yeah. So you can tell that. Oh, that's definitely a 9.5. Yeah. So just randomly, Jeremiah Smith just randomly popping back up. So Scully, you remembered him, did you, when you saw him, or was it kind of like
he's quite a distinctive look about him.
Yeah.
There's something just memorable about it, and I couldn't place him from where I had seen it before, but he did string something in the memory banks.
Yeah, because it's Roy Thinnis as well in it, so he was like the main actor in The Invaders back in the day. I don't know if you ever watched The Invaders.
Yeah.
The Invaders. Yeah. So Scully's woke up by a phone call to tell her about Teresa having gone. So kind of like a get her up out of bed quick, and we go straight from there to Scully meeting Doggett out in the desert. And he's like, just hear her out. And so he's introducing this woman called Monica Reyes. So this is going to become a major character, particularly in season 9. Her and Doggett will be.
Right. And this was one of the people where I was like, have I seen you before, or did I just know your face from something else?
No. So this is Annabeth Gish, the actress. She has been in quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you probably have seen her in stuff. She's also like the granddaughter of a famous actress with I can't remember her first name, but she was a Gish as well. And but yeah.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So
it's going to bug me.
I'm going to be talking now, and then at some point you're just going to shout it out because you've just been thinking the whole time about it and not taking in anything I'm saying. So, right. Anyway. So this is it. This is our introduction to Monica Reyes. She's stood up on a hill, and she puts out a fag. So we see that she's oh no, shouldn't be smoking. Whatever. She turns out she's got a master's in religious studies, particularly ritualistic crime. That's what she investigates.
Yes.
She suggests that, so this is a friend of Doggett's. Doggett has worked a case with her in the past. We learn later on that case is his son's case. She worked with him to try and find his son. She suggests Teresa and Mulder became part of a UFO group / cult. Yeah, Scully says cult. She says, let's call it a group. And that whoever dropped her off in the desert and then re-abducted her actually cares about her because they didn't kill her. To which I wrote, I'd hate to see what they do to someone they don't care about.
Okay, can we just pause for a little minute and just talk about this woman?
Okay.
I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like her immediately.
Right.
And I don't know why it just kind of struck me like that. I don't know if it's the hangover from Mimi Rogers' character when she came in.
Yes.
And I think that's what it is. So I'm taking that baggage into it. I don't know about you.
There's a lot here. Now, when she was introduced, I do know, and again, I don't know where I got it from, but it would have come out somewhere. It would have been on like X-Files magazines and things like that. Because there was like a monthly X-Files magazine, stuff like that. They were clearly building her up. We knew that at some point she was going to get partnered up with Doggett. And I think they're testing the water here. She comes in to it here in this two-parter. She comes back again in the two-parter that closes the season. So they really establish her mythology-wise in these two-parters. And then season 9, it's like, boom, her and Doggett are, so we knew even back then, when she gets introduced here, we were I, as an X-Files fan, I was waiting for her to show up. I knew that this woman, Annabeth Gish, was playing this character who was going to be a big deal in the show. So when she pops up, I'm like, okay, this is who it is. Let's see who she is. And I, just like you, had the same reaction that you did. I was just like, no, don't like her. No. No, not having it. It was just like, for me, what it is when Doggett was introduced, he was kind of like the male Scully. He functioned in the role that Scully once functioned in, and Scully flipped to become like Mulder. She was the believer. She was the one who came up with the wacky theories. Doggett was the skeptic. Doggett was the one who pushed back. And thanks to Robert Patrick and thanks to the writing, they made it work. I warmed to it. I was like, okay, I can accept it. Here, they bring in the female character who is very obviously more in the Mulder vein. And it feels like it feels like a defensive reaction from me. Like I can sense it. Oh, hang on, I can see what you're doing here. Like you're introducing the Mulder-like character who's now going to be the woman. So we've still got our Mulder and Scully, but there's the sexes are reversed. So now the Scully character is going to be Doggett, the Mulder character is going to be Reyes. And it just feels like she's too quirky. She's too what's the word? Just mumbo jumbo, mystical kind of. She talks about energies and that kind of thing. Right. Mulder's more of a straight shooter who's just like, I think it's a crazy mutant man who's eating livers. He's just he doesn't. He's not like energies and vibes, and I get. So,
I think Mulder would. He would, before the mystical vibes or that, he would be quite. It would diminish that. I think. I don't think he believes in that kind of aspect. Where he's open-minded and all these other type of things. I think.
Because we've seen him do that. He did that with Scully's sister. If you go back to season 2. Scully's sister, Melissa, is very much in the vein of Reyes. And Mulder was just like, no, take all your crystals and your energy crap and shove them up your bum crack because I don't believe all that. It's like it's just nonsense, it's bunkum. So yeah, so she feels like a very obvious attempt to put a character into the show who is there to replace Mulder if and when it calls for it, kind of thing.
Well, I almost look at it as a character there to replace Scully. She goes, you know what, my contract, we've established Doggett, we'll give him a partner to take Scully's place.
Yeah. I just meant because her character traits are more in line with Mulder, whereas Doggett's are more in line with Scully. But yeah, I think that's just the way it feels. It feels like they're manoeuvring things in such a way that we can now let Gillian Anderson and Dave Duchovny go, and we'll have these guys. And because of that, I get this instant kind of pushback of like, no, I don't want you, thanks, go away. Now that's how I've always been in the past. But I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's just that the X-Files is over and done with now, so I know where it goes. I know what it is. You either accept it or you don't. I watched it this time, and it's not that I loved her or anything, but I was like, okay, she's quite a likable person in her own kind of way. She's never going to replace Scully for me, but like...
No, but what I will say is by the time I get to the end of the episode, kind of like her more. It's just that initial straight away, I'm just like, nope. No.
Yeah. It's just a strange introduction as well, because it's Doggett. It's Doggett who introduces her, and he's in her corner, kind of thing. It's like, no, just listen to her, hear her out, and
the first little speech, and you're just like, no, this is not happening.
Because she doesn't say anything that's of any kind of major consequence. Like, it doesn't feel like what she's saying has deep ramifications for their investigation. It does feel like a, all right, so what, kind of thing. Like, how does this help us? Okay, you've given us this information, but how does that help us find Mulder?
Yeah.
So anyway, Scully walks away. Doggett goes after her, and she says nothing she said explains the Doctor being in two places at once. Doggett says if she's thinking alien bounty hunter, this is where they part company. So Scully says, enjoy your new company. And so again, it's this whole interaction, even with right down to Scully saying, enjoy your new company. It's almost like it's giving Doggett the impetus to go off and investigate this with Reyes. So it just, there is a very, I guess the major problem with the scene is that it feels very orchestrated. You can feel the writer's room in it. The writer's room they know that this character is going to be a big thing in season 9. They know they're going to partner her up with Doggett in season 9. They need to introduce her. And I feel like this scene, you can feel the writer's room clicking away. Like, but how do we do it? What do we get them to say? Every piece of dialogue has kind of some kind of consequence to it in that regard. So yeah, that's why. So a man enters a building where Jeremiah sits with Teresa. He says, we were almost too late. That's Jeremiah, he says that. And then he touches her and she begins to heal. And presumably when he does that, things start clicking a bit more for you as to who this guy is.
Yeah. It's the whole healing factor, and then the kind of shape-shifting type of idea as well, and it kind of brought me back to where he was.
Yeah. Okay. Scully catches Reyes looking at X-rays of Teresa Hosey. Reyes says she is looking for implants. Scully is confused and quite shocked, to be honest. She finds out that Reyes has a more open mind than she thought. She usually works cases involving satanic rituals. Black sheep in the New Orleans office. That's what she says. So again, just trying to draw correlations to Mulder. It's just like, yeah, like Mulder's the black sheep in the FBI office in Washington. I'm the black sheep in the FBI office at New Orleans.
It's really heavy-handed, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like they're saying, "Hey guys, look, this she's just like Mulder. She, like her." Yeah, it's like, no, show us who she is first, please. I guess it feels like a lot of tell. They say with film, show, don't tell, and I feel like they're telling us a lot about who this woman is, and it feels like they're trying too hard to get us to like her right off the bat, rather than showing her do things that make us like her. But
I'm almost waiting to find out about her brother who was abducted when she was younger.
Yeah. But it's like, I will say, any issues with the character on that front, I believe, are with the writing, not with Annabeth Gish.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I think that, and in this scene here, I have to confess I started to warm to her a bit, and that's because of the performance, not because of the writing. I can see what they're trying to do in the writing. The dialogue's a bit heavy-handed. Yeah. They're telling us who this character is, but I'm kind of warming to her because of what Annabeth Gish is doing. So, yeah, I'm like, okay. I kind of feel like I shouldn't like you, but the actress is making me like her a little bit. So, despite the writing, so props to her for that. So, was that it for that scene? No, there's something else in there. Yeah. Okay. So she believes in energies and can often feel them. She tells Scully that her fear won't help her find Mulder, so perhaps she needs to stay open too. So, in other words, have a little faith, have a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I quite like it when people tell Scully to have faith. Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically because she's someone who is a person of faith,
and a lot of it as well. She's taken a lot in throughout the entire series. It's just funny to watch people just be like, yeah.
It's like, you have no idea who I am, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Reyes is driving and attempts to light up a pack of Morley lights.
Yep. Where have you seen them before?
Now this is like, so I'm not sure I ever thought about this before in any major way, other than a little aside that's like, oh, that's funny, isn't it? She smokes similar cigarettes to Cancer Man. Now, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should say what I'm about to say, but yeah.
Maybe keep it in there if it's something spoiler or something you think's a bit.
It just
if it alludes to anything else.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but it does, and it's a point of contention, I think, for a lot of X-Files fans. I'm going to leave it, and there's fans of the show, if they've gotten this far and they're listening, they know what I'm talking about. They'll probably guess exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm going to have to remember this scene, and when we get to a certain point, I'm going to have to bring it back up and just talk about it, because so the car momentarily dies. Then she sees a UFO. Jeremiah and the other man that was at the compound with him load a body onto the back of a truck. She runs over, tells them to stop, but they do a runner. She turns and sees another body. So, yeah. Oh, God. Not much to say there.
No, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
information, I suppose.
It's just stuff happening in it. There's not a
Yeah.
lot she can do. She's just caught in a... Although interesting that she gets to see the UFO. So she's just coincidentally in the spot where this thing comes. And it's her. Of all the people, it's her. And she just gets to see it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's actually my biggest gripe with the episode is that scene. Just the coincidence of that happening. And it's Monica that gets to see it, and it's like,
yeah.
So
especially when you think of like all the times Scully was just like missing everything. Mulder would be standing there going like, "Turn round, there's a giant spaceship behind you." She'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to turn around and see that."
Yeah, Gary Edward Corey. This is the guy. This is Rich's friend, the one he's been looking for this whole time. Scully's about to start an autopsy on him when Richie is brought in to see his friend. He obviously has a little moment. He's beside himself. Then he gets taken away. Scully gets tearful because obviously she sees his reaction. She looks at the body. This is the guy that was taken just before Mulder, or same time as Mulder. So technically, Mulder should be back now as well. And if he is, well, look at this guy. So she's dealing with the weight of that, and she's got to do an autopsy on this guy, and it's like she just looks like she's going to break.
Yes.
But she composes herself. She has a moment. She gets back on, and she knows she's got to do it. She's got a job to do, and she's going to get on with it. So, yeah. Nice little moment. I when it happened, I kind of started questioning the validity of whether Richie would be brought in at that moment. Just as she's about to start an autopsy, I was like, I mean, presumably they've sent for him, come in, check, and then I can get started, kind of thing. But I'm just like, would that be, or would they not do it somewhere else or whatever? But then I was just like, actually, who cares? For the sake of story and moving it along, they're killing a few birds with one stone. Like, Richie gets his wrap up kind of thing, and we get this. It means we get to see this moment with Scully because she sees his reaction and all that. So fine, whatever. It works in terms of narrative. It gives us things we need. So Reyes sees that Doggett is hurting for Scully. He doesn't know how Scully is doing it, but she says he knows all too well. And that's when they have a little conversation, and we realise that actually the case that they worked on was his son. She ran the... So there's a history there with these that is much deeper than we previously realised. They weren't just partners on a case. She's got a very distinct knowledge and closeness to, the most personal case of his life, really. So... So she ran the plate on the pickup truck, which belongs to an ex-Doomsday cult leader named Absalom. That can't be his real name.
Yeah, it's such a funny name.
If you called your child Absalom, you're just setting him up for a life in cult leadership, aren't you, really? Yeah, all right. So,
so good.
Absalom shares a late-night meal with friends. Jeremiah rocks up and says they're coming and that we cannot let them find him. So they all start kind of shadily looking like they're going to start making a move. But before they can, the FBI all bust in, being led by Doggett, Skinner and Scully. And then Scully finds Teresa in bed, looking quite normal, all healed, no scars, and
Nothing.
like, what the actual? So yeah. So yeah, just the look on Scully's face, it's like when you think about her psychology, you know, she's seen Teresa at this horrible kind of, you know, deformed, messed with state, and in her mind, that's now all she can see Mulder as. It's all she can see Mulder as is in that state. And now she comes and she sees Teresa healed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, hope. Is this little nugget of hope that she maybe dare not even speak out loud, but it's like Teresa's like sitting before her, healed. What does that mean for Mulder? So her mind must just be like racing all over the place. In this episode, the things that happen, she's flip flopping left, right. She's like, yeah, just which is important, I think, because when we get to the very end of the episode, a reaction that she has is just is the natural overflow, I would say, of all this that's happening. But yeah, so Absalom is being interrogated. He doesn't know how it happens, only where. He picks up the abductees to help them, says that this is the start of an alien invasion that he'd predicted would begin at the start of the millennium. Scully shows him a picture of Mulder. He says they don't have him. Monica believes he's definitely hiding something. And we're like, yeah, no crap.
Yeah.
So obviously he's hiding something. What's your vibe on this guy, though? Like,
yeah, there's just something completely off. Like completely off right from the start. I'm just like normally like in the last episode, I really suspected everybody was up to no good. This one, I kind of think that most people are just what they say they are, and then this guy turns up and there's just alarm bells going off, just constantly. I'm just like, I just know there's something here.
Yeah. It's just because of his delivery with everything, so dry and so like emotionless. It just doesn't seem to have any emotion. But you look at what's going on and you look at his involvement, and it does seem like he's trying to help these people. It does seem like he's trying to get them to Jeremiah so that they can be healed. So it's like, is it just a case that he's been wrapped up in this for so long and been told so long that he's a quack and that he's insane and all this, that he's just, like, so this isn't the last we see of this guy, by the way. He's, you know, he will come back in season 9. So, but yeah, at the moment, it's just interesting to see what your vibe is of him. But Scully goes to her hotel room and sees Mulder in the starlight. And it's like, okay, well, so we've had that from, you know, Sign on Zeet and Closure. And when we see that usually means people are dead. Like, so is Mulder dead? This is the question. So Reyes shows the team, and it's just a nice kind of look back at, like, just when we got the stuff in the mythology in Sign on Zeet and Closure, the whole stuff with the starlight, it kind of feels like one of them things where, we'll never address that again. That's closed off now. It's done.
Yeah.
But the fact that they address it here and it's still part of the mythology, I kind of like that touch. But yeah, so the fact that she's seen him in the starlight, I'm going to ask you now, do you think he's dead?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Don't think he's dead at all.
Interesting. Reyes shows the team tapes of Jeremiah Smith carrying a body in a truck and also turning into Agent Doggett. Scully says they have to get back out to the compound. They arrive and begin search for Jeremiah. Scully spots a man with Nikes and asks him to come with them. She kind of goes in with Reyes, but Reyes gets called out halfway through. But Scully asks him if he is Jeremiah, and when he says no, she insists that he is and that she knows it. And that's when a knock takes Reyes away. And then when Scully turns around, he's turned into Jeremiah. So what this shows is that he trusts her, but he just doesn't trust anyone else around her.
Yeah.
Because obviously they've had dealings, they've been on an adventure together. So this whole time he's sat there and you're looking at the look on this guy's face, the one that he's turned into. And he's just giving her this strange look. And like in retrospect of Reyes having gone out, you see that, that's trust. He so badly wants to tell her. He so badly wants to say, yes, I am Jeremiah Smith, but I ain't telling you Jack while this woman I don't know is stood right next to you. So he tells her that he is the only one trying to save the abductees. He was trying to save Mulder before they came crashing in like a bunch of, David Koresh style.
Yeah.
Skinner comes in to tell her they need her. Jeremiah, now changed back to the person he was before, tells her they must protect him. Scully asks Skinner, what is it? And he says, it's Mulder. We go from there to Doggett and a bunch of agents standing over a body in the field. Scully comes running over. It's Mulder, looking like he's dead. Doggett says it's too late. She says he needs help and runs back towards the compound for Jeremiah. Like, just everything about Scully right now is just like you can absolutely feel the frustration and the desperation, and just like I'm running with her. And she gets to the compound just as the UFO rocks up, steals Jeremiah, and she goes in, finds him gone, and she just screams at the top of her lungs, this is not happening, and just drops to her knees, and we fade out on her screams. And it's one of those chilling screams that kind of raises hairs on the back of my neck. I think Gillian Anderson in this scene is so good, because I absolutely feel Scully's desperation and determination and frustration, just because this episode has just been Mulder screwed, here's a little bit of hope. Mulder screwed, no, have faith. Mulder screwed, like, look at Teresa, this could be Mulder. It's like it's just constantly pulling and toing and throwing, and like, is he dead, is he not, does he have a... And it's just like she's just on the cusp all the time, and he's there, and it's like, but Jeremiah's there, and it's like, I can get, and then he's gone, and it's like, and it's and you just feel that outpouring from her when she just finally breaks, and it's like, and she just screams at the heavens like, this is not happening. It's just, and I have to say, when I used to watch this, like way back when, like, obviously I was only in my early 20s, hadn't lived life really, didn't have kids, didn't have a family, any of that stuff. This moment to me felt a little bit over the top. Right. But having gone through life, I have actually had moments like this where I've just been so overwrought and I've literally just screamed like, this is not fucking happening, So I've been there, and just, this time watching it, just this moment really clicked and it really hit, and I just felt everything Scully was feeling, and then it faded to black, and I was like, no. So great ending to the episode, I'd say. So shall I wrap up?
Yeah, sure.
I loved this episode. I loved that it really does get in to just how frustrating this whole thing has been for Scully. Just how she's been living on the edge of the unknown for this whole time. Just, I think about parents who've lost children. I think people, like the whole Madeleine McCann thing. I know people have got so many opinions about that, and what about their responsibility? What did they do wrong? This, that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, their child has gone, and it's just that frustration of never knowing, never having the answer. Is she still out there? Is she not? All these wacky conspiracy theories come out all the time, and they must be just living on the edge the whole time. And I'm just like, and that's Scully in this moment, just living on that. And I just feel like this episode does a really good job of getting that across. This just constantly struggling with, is he dead? Is he not? Is he dead? Is he not? I've warmed to Reyes, or my reaction to her in this particular episode is more warm than it ever has been before. I think again that comes from a certain acceptance of, well, I know where this show ends now, so you just got to take it as it comes. And I like it. The pacing's great. It's there's big stuff going on all the time. I just like it. I really like this episode. I'm not sure if I'm full on 5 at the moment. I think it may hinge on how the next one holds up or doesn't hold up. But 4.5 from me.
Yeah, it's a 4.5 from me as well. I really enjoyed this one. It was a pretty great mythology episode, and I think it's probably elevated by the one that came before it as well, where you can see the differences between the mythology episodes.
Yeah.
I really love the story and the idea of it. I think everything kind of works. Even the character that comes into it, Reyes, I don't like, but then I like. You know, and it's. Do you know how hard it is to introduce a character who you instantly despise, and then by the end of that episode, have managed to turn it around? That's really strong. Like I said, 4 out of 5 for me. Really enjoyable.
4.5.
4.5. Sorry.
Yeah,
4.5. I feel like the two-parters are always tough. You need to know how it lands.
Yeah, it really does have to hinge on that second part, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because that can drop it or raise it as well. So yeah, we'll see. So next episode is Dead Alive. Wonder what that's about. Brian, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So this isn't a spoiler because it's literally the opening scene of next episode. We open up on Mulder's funeral. He's dead. Okay. Now, obviously.
Is he? Is he dead alive? Maybe.
It's all in the title. But when Scully saw her in the starlight, I will simply say that made sense because he's dead. So yeah, we're going to open up on his funeral and then we're going to go places. But
okay. So there we go. So that was This Is Not Happening. Great title, great episode, one of the best of the seasons so far. The big question is, will it manage to rise above Badla in my top 5? Who knows? At the end of the season. So he's back, he's gone again. Scully's at her lowest, and suddenly everything is feeling really weighty and heavy, as if we're getting to. It's almost like a season conclusion, it feels like. But we've still got more to go. So next week we're going to dive into Dead Live and finish out this hopefully great story. If you're enjoying this podcast, if you're enjoying talking and listening about the X-Files, drop us a review or a like or thumbs up, whatever helps us and allows other people to discover our passion for the X-Files. And we will see you next week on the X-Files Revisited.